Hey guys, what's going on? Gonna be doing something a little bit different, something I really haven't done in a while. I've been thinking a lot lately about why I play video games and what it is that I find enjoyment out of playing games in, and it kind of just got me thinking about what makes games fun. So as of late, I've really been trying to maybe compile some of my thoughts and put some things together and try to make some realizations for not only myself but hopefully for some of you guys out there as to why I enjoy this hobby, and maybe perhaps it's some of the reasons that you enjoy it as well. I'm gonna probably just have some random footage playing something I've played in the past, maybe some Wildstar or something like that. It's really less about that. It's more or less just kind of about the discussion. So if you just want to put this on in the background and maybe just give it a listen or something, I would greatly appreciate it. And obviously, if you have any feedback or you have any questions or concerns, or maybe you just want to talk about video games for a while or something like that, leave a comment, man. I'd love to hear it. I would love to talk to you guys about games. It's my favorite hobby. It's something that I really enjoy. I'm gonna try not to ramble too much, although I'm kind of rambling right now. So I'll just kind of get right into it, and let me know what you guys think. Thanks. Gaming is a habit enjoyed by millions of people across the world. For many of us, we have fond memories of being kids and exploring different worlds and things that we could never have achieved within our day-to-day lives. It's a chance for us to become something that we can't in real life. A chance for us to do something that we never dreamed of. A chance for us to explore something new. Like many of you out there, I grew up playing video games. The first system I remember having was a Super Nintendo. I remember sitting there for hours playing games with my sister and trying to watch my dad beat games that we couldn't, like Home Alone, for instance. Each game seemed special and unique, and in a chance to explore something I had never seen before. Still to this day, I have fond memories of seeing games in magazines and the excitement I felt when I would open those games for my birthday or for Christmas or whatever. As I grew up, so did the gaming industry. The PlayStation 1 came out and then the Nintendo 64. Both systems completely changed my life. I'll never forget the day that I went over to a friend of mine's house and I saw them playing Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I immediately went home and tried to convince my parents that I needed this game, clamoring to them about how amazing it was. Finally, I convinced them to go take me to the store to buy a copy that very same day. A copy that I still own. It was an entire event that captivated not only myself, but the kids in my neighborhood as well. Each of us would brag to each other every day, trying to tell each other how far we had gotten and what we had done. I mean, our minds were absolutely blown when the kid that lived across the street from me finally became an adult for the first time in the game. We had never seen anything like that before. Time passed and I discovered the Metal Gear Solid franchise for the PlayStation 1. I fell in love with that game. So much to the point where my CD tray would never open in my PlayStation unless it was time to switch between the first and second discs. Again, it was something I had never seen before. Gameplay that was fun and exciting, and a storyline that left me asking questions, not only about the game, but about life itself. In those days, it seemed with every new installment, the games were getting better and better and more interesting. The worlds got larger and the characters became more real. No longer was this a fantasy, a dream world to escape to. This was a part of my life, and I was hooked. More time passed and we saw the generation of the PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox and the GameCube. It seemed like there was nowhere to go but up for the video game industry. The gameplay was getting better and the worlds more vibrant and the characters more captivating. The gaming industry blew up and it became more popular than even film. All of a sudden, everybody was looking for an excuse to get in, and why not? At the time, it seemed perfect. There were games for every type of person, every lifestyle, every genre you could imagine. There was something out there for you. With the release of the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 and the Nintendo Wii to an extent, we saw the gaming industry become more of a household item. Gone were the days of just a few kids in the neighborhood having video game systems. Everybody did. Even if all it was a media device to watch movies or listen to music through your TV or whatever. Video games were everywhere. It felt good. But then something happened. It seemed like as the game started to look better and better, something about them was getting worse and worse. Now this wasn't always true. There's still plenty of other games out there that remained amazing. However, something was definitely different. As the mid-2000s came to a close and the 2010s began to give us a glimpse of what technology could really do, the market shifted. People had smartphones, laptops, and all sorts of technology that began to make video games seem less and less special in the eyes of many. Now, don't get me wrong, these new tech devices obviously just expanded the video game industry in a completely different direction, which isn't bad. Change and expansion is a good thing, although it seems like the direction that it's going doesn't feel like it. Obviously, I'm sure as many of you know, the current state of video game industry is in turmoil. There's an epidemic of rehashed games and yearly releases, cut content only to be sold months later behind a DLC, loot boxes that prey on people's gambling addictions and younger audiences that don't know any better. The dawn of microtransactions has come, and it's left a hollow shell of what gaming used to be and still is for some people in its wake. I know I don't need to go into detail for a lot of these things. I'm sure most of you have probably already seen video after video, post after post, and so many other things reminding us of this fact. It's leaving us with no choice but to turn a blind eye while we wait for the next big thing, in hopes that it can take us back to those worlds that we visited so long ago, hopes that it will rekindle that feeling that we had, hopes that it would be the thing that would save the industry. I think the easiest way to explain it was told to me by a friend of mine. He said, "The problem is, games aren't made by gamers for gamers anymore. They're made by accountants for gamers." This was a hard truth for me, because in that moment, a lot of things clicked. It seemed now that the industry is nothing more than corporate attempts at digging into our wallets, trying to sell us happiness by using marketing tricks and rose-colored glasses, each new game promising us to bring that satisfaction that we've been patiently waiting for. Look, I'm not trying to say that games are all like this. In fact, 2017 actually had some pretty good releases. Almost every single game nominated for Game of the Year last year was more than stellar. For me, honestly, it was Breath of the Wild. That game left me breathless. Pun intended. I've been wanting to make that one for a long time. Sorry, bear with me. It really brought me back to a level of excitement and exploration that I hadn't felt in so long. For the first time in a long time, it felt like I was back in Hyrule exploring it like it was the first time. The world was fun, new, and exciting, but at the same time extremely familiar. It captivated me in a way that games haven't for so long, and it got me thinking, what makes games fun? Now, this is a question I hadn't really asked myself in a long time, and quite honestly, I was afraid to find the answer to. I think it's safe to say each one of us has our own definition of what it is that makes games enjoyable. That's why I don't think there really is an easy way to explain it. Games are fun because we decided they are. Whether it's because you have some nostalgic moment that you want to relive or an experience that you couldn't have had in your normal life, whatever that reason is, you, the player, decided what it was that you liked. That's exactly why there are so many genres and so many games out there and so many different views on what games are good and what games aren't good. And the reality is, it's a beautiful industry because of it. It's a place that has something for everyone. Although these days I'm beginning to think that one major thing that makes this hobby better than most, at least for myself, is because of that part of me that really enjoys it. From all the way back in the day where it wasn't cool to be a gamer, I fell in love with the industry way back then, and I'm still madly in love with it now. That's why it hurts so much to see the industry the way that it is right now. I think as gamers, we have to do one thing. Don't allow other influences to change your own opinion of what you think gaming is and shouldn't be. Don't allow these companies to come in and put microtransactions and DLC and all this other stuff in our games. The fact is, the more we pay for it, the more we'll see it. And it's when we decide that we're going to stop that we'll see a change. Now, there's a lot of good stuff on the horizon, and you never know what's going to happen. It's an evolving industry. So is everything in the world right now. But this is one of the things that I can't sit by and wait and hope that somebody else is going to fix. If there's anything I can do to make a change, I'm going to, because it's something that I care about. And if the only change I can make is sitting by and not purchasing the next big thing, or maybe I go back to playing some of the old school games. Maybe I boot back up Ocarina of Time. You know what I'm saying? My 64 is a little dusty. It could probably use a little love. Maybe I go back to those things that made me feel good. Maybe that's all I was really looking for, was that nostalgia. Maybe that's what made it fun. But honestly, I truly believe what makes games fun for me then and what continues to make it fun for me now is the fact that I chose to make it an enjoyable hobby. No one held a gun to my head and said, hey, you have to play this game because you're required to, or everyone else is doing it. I play MMORPGs and losery games and stuff that not everybody is interested in, but I enjoy them. And that was a tough thing for me to swallow. I see so many of my friends and a lot of other people that I know now struggling with that same thing, constantly looking for the next game to play, the next thing that's going to give them that satisfaction, when they don't seem to realize they're the one that has to make the decision to be satisfied with something to begin with. I continue to play the games that I like and I love because I want to play them. Sure, I like playing games with my friends. I love it. It's probably my favorite part about the gaming industry and as a hobby in general. But I'm not going to put myself in situations where I'm going to play something strictly because someone else is, or a streamer's doing it, or all my friends are playing it. I enjoy this hobby because I enjoy this hobby. And that's something that I challenge everybody to do. Remember why you chose this. Remember why you became a gamer. Alright, well, I have to apologize. This video has gone on way longer than I expected. Obviously, I'm known for rambling, and I do apologize for that. So I'm going to leave you guys with just one last thing. I challenge you. Honestly, I beg you. Anything. Just go out there today, this week, this month, whenever it is, and play something just for fun. That's it. No catch-22. Boot up an old game, play a new one, whatever, something that you know that you will enjoy. Personally, I would say steer clear of competitive games because those have a tendency to have a shift in tide as far as how you experience the game and whether or not you're having a good time. Play a single player, play something that you know that you like, a nostalgic game, whatever. Just do it because you enjoy it. And if it's something that you think you might like and you try it and you don't or whatever, that's fine. It's okay to not enjoy something. But if you don't, then move on. And if you do, then carry it with you. We need to be the change that we want to see. Thank you so much for watching or listening. I really hope that some of this could have possibly helped you or brought some clarity to some things, or maybe just provided you guys with some answers that you might have been looking for. Beyond what was said, the most important thing I always want to remind you guys and stress so much, is good luck and have fun, guys. Thanks again. The dawn of microtransactions has come and has left a